Hi, welcome to the Adventure Life. I'm V, and this is
Dustin. This is me.
So today we're doing Iron Mountain Trail, which is one of the most popular trails in this whole San Diego. So I haven't done this one yet. I live in San Diego for a long time, and this is my first time doing it, so I'm excited.
This is the second highest peak in the Poway area, second only to Mount Woodson, which you can see way out there. That is also the home of the potato chip rock, which if you haven't seen that video, click in that upper corner right now to check that one out. That is a solid hike. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. That's one of my favorite too. So this one is 6 miles total, and it's over 1,000 feet gain in elevation. So I guess it's considered moderate, maybe hard for some people. But it's not that bad.
It should be fairly challenging. It's a pretty consistent climb all the way up. You can see the elevation chart right in the palm of my hand right here, but pretty much climbing all the way up and dropping all the way back to the car. So as long as you can get up there, you should be in good shape.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Wait till we go up and start breathing, but right now it's not that bad. You guys ready?
All right, let's get it on. Let's go.
As we mentioned just a second ago, this trail is very popular, so parking can be a premium. Especially if you're doing this hike on weekends, the parking lot will fill up very fast, so you're going to want to get there early. There is some street parking available, but you need to watch out for the no parking signs and be careful when you're pulling out because cars come by really quick here. Your hike will be starting off in this really pretty tree tunnel. Enjoy the shade because there is not much of it on this trail. You definitely want to be sure to bring plenty of water if you're going to be attempting this hike. We saw quite a few people this day with little or even no water. The sun was really radiating off the dirt while we were there, and it would be pretty easy to get dehydrated. Bringing plenty of water is especially important if you're bringing your four-legged friend with you. They are welcome out here, just be sure to keep them on a leash and clean up after them. The first 3/4 of a mile of this hike is very mellow with barely any incline at all. We were visiting while the flowers were blooming, and it definitely made this trail a whole lot prettier. You will be encountering a couple of forks along this first section, but if you're wanting to do the hike like we are in this video, you just want to stay on the main trail. After you pass that 3/4 of a mile mark, things are going to start to get a little bit steeper and more rocky. This is a good warm-up for some of the bigger climbs that you have coming up ahead. As you come to the end of that long first straightaway, you're going to be zigzagging your way through some rocks as the trail dips down into a gully. You're going to need to watch your step from pretty much here on out because the trail is going to be full of boulders, logs, and stairs. As I always say, shoes with a good amount of traction will make things a lot easier on all of these climbs, and that's especially true if you're visiting during the rainy months. This trail does have several junctions on it. A lot of them are really well marked, but it's always a good idea to run a tracker like Strava or All Trails to keep track of your progress. And it's always a great idea to bring a beacon like the Garmin InReach just in case you need some help out here.
Okay, so we are right around that 1 mile mark and we have come to a fork.
So this fork, if you go left, that will keep you going straight on the trail. If you go right, that would be that loop. Like that way. So right this way. That would take you back. That's like the other loop. Like when we came up to from the bottom, I guess, there was a fork there. And if you have taken that fork, it would take you back to here. So it's a loop. So on the way back, we'll see. We'll go this way to finish that loop, so you guys can see what it looked like.
After making that left, the trail does mellow out just a little bit for a second before ramping back up with more rocky climbs. The good thing is that even though there are several steep sections on this trail, none of them seem to last for very long. They're usually just long enough to get you breathing heavy, and then they level out and give you a nice break. If you have leg issues but you would still like to do this hike, I would highly recommend bringing some hiking poles because they'll make some of the rocky climbs much more doable. One thing that both of us really enjoyed about this hike is that as you climb higher and higher, the views get better and better. So it's a nice little reward for all of your struggles.
We've reached roughly the halfway point. We've come to another fork, and if you want to go to Iron Mountain, you need to go right.
You're halfway, so Iron Mountain would be another 1.45 miles.
Yeah.
And I think most of the elevation gain would be at the last half of the mile. So, yeah, that's half the way. There is a little overlook. We haven't done that one yet. It's half a mile to the left. We're not going to do that today. We're just going to go straight up to the top. So
save it for next time.
Yeah, so go right.
After making the right, you're going to be treated to even better views because now you'll have nice rolling hills on your left side and San Diego on the right side. As good as the scenery is right now, it is a million times better from the top. The trail has now turned to face directly towards Iron Mountain, and I'm not gonna lie, it definitely looks pretty intimidating. The good thing is though, that at least for us, it was nowhere near as strenuous as we thought it was going to be.
Up to this point, I would say that this is easier than potato chip, but we still have quite a ways to go upwards. So I'll give you a better opinion once we're standing at the top.
After a quick dance break, we continued on to some of the steeper parts of the trail. If you take your time and take some breaks, this climb is extremely manageable. But at the same time, if you want to do something like trail running, this could be one heck of a workout. You'll be coming to yet another fork at the 2.1 mile mark. This is just a short bonus loop that takes you to more views, but we ended up just going left to stay on the main trail on the climb up. At this point, the views will stretch all the way out to the Boulder Oaks County Preserve and the Iron Mountain Preserve. Even though some people don't enjoy hiking amongst crowds, there are some benefits. If you end up tripping over a rock or getting into some sort of trouble out here, there is a good chance that someone will be along in the next 30 to 45 seconds. And some people might find that comforting.
We are roughly about 2.4 miles in, and we're getting our first look over on this side of the mountain.
You can actually see the parking lot.
Yeah,
right over there.
I could see my car from here. And on a clear day, you get a little bit of it. Way off in the distance, you can see the ocean. So, nice little view.
So we warned you before, but this is actually the start of the big switchback section. So this is where you're gonna go get the switchback on. So.
Yeah, we did some climbing, but I think it's about to get going.
We are now on to the steepest part of the hike. It isn't a giant step up from the climbs that you've done so far, but you're definitely going to be putting some work in. If you look across the valley at this point, you can almost see Potato Chip Rock. I think it's just slightly tucked around the corner though. One of the funny things about this climb is that your view of the switchbacks is obstructed by bushes. So if you're looking up the mountain, all you can see is a bunch of heads and shoulders bobbing up and down as they make their way up and down the climb. I know we've said several times that this hike isn't all that challenging, but I'm not gonna lie, there was definitely some sweat and heavy breathing as we made our way up. If you could do us a huge favor and stay on the main trail as you make your way up, there is sensitive wildlife here and taking shortcuts causes a lot of erosion. Taking shortcuts can also result in rock slides, damage to vegetation, and future trail closures for repairs.
So we have officially made it to the top, as evident by the sign of victory. Hopefully it will be there when you get there for that awesome peak selfie.
It's pretty cool.
I will say, still
Pretty easy. Here.
not
What do you
as
thought?
hard as Potato Chip. I will definitely say that. And the view from the top, pretty much 360. There's a lake over there. But yeah, the view from up here is really nice. It's a little bit hazy today, so you don't get the full effect of it, but you know, pretty good. So, and also from the top there is a little, what is that?
Telescope.
Telescope. I was like binoculars that you can take in views of the area. I tried to see Potato Chip, but I think I'm at the wrong angle, so I couldn't quite see it, but it was still cool.
It's over there.
I'm not gonna lie, there were a lot of people at the top, but there are several small trails that you can take to find your own little bit of serenity. One of the overlooks that we found gave us a really nice view of the San Vicente Reservoir. After soaking in the 360-degree views for a bit, we decided to head back. But on our way, I found one more side trail and we went to check it out. It ended up taking us to this cool rock that reminded me of Pride Rock from The Lion King. And with that, it was time to start making our way back down. We still had those two side trails that we wanted to explore. Be sure to take some extra time and caution as you make your way down. This mountain is just steep enough to make things really slippery at times. B and I both slipped on several occasions, but luckily we never went all the way down.
We are on our way down, and I believe we are going to take that. It would actually have been the second fork that we came to since we're on our way back. Just looks like a little short loop trail. Maybe it'll take you to some cool viewpoints. Doesn't look like it's too far.
Wait, we're doing that?
Yeah, we're doing it.
I guess we're doing it.
News to her.
Taking the left at the first fork that you come to on the way down will bring you here. This little side trail is just under 0.2 of a mile long. It takes you to more nice views and then it dumps you right back out on the main trail again. After jumping back on the main trail, we continued on our way down until I found what could be the most metal rock I've ever seen in my life. The trail is really nice and easy to follow here, and you won't have any more intersections until you come to that big sign. Once you get to it, you're going to be making a left unless you want to go visit the overlook or one of the other trails in the area. And your next stop will be the junction at the bottom of the hill.
We're back to this spot. I hope you remember that spot. So that's where the loops start, that where we're talking about. If you go left from here, that's what we did. We went up and see Iron Mountain Peak, the beautiful area. So we're gonna go this way now to complete that loop. You don't have to go this way. You can always just come back the way you came from. So from the top down, you're gonna go right to go back to the car. We're actually just gonna go straight, whichever way is going to take you back to your car, so it doesn't matter. We haven't gone the other way yet, so we're gonna do that right now.
I'll be totally honest, after the spectacular views that you get from the top, this doesn't really compare. It's just a nice stroll through some tall shrubbery. This route is just a tiny bit longer than the way that we took on the way up. But the one benefit some might see is that it is not crowded and we didn't see another person on that part of the trail. No matter which way you go, you can be happy knowing that you just conquered Iron Mountain.
And we have made it back to the tree tunnel, which is basically the finish line. It's another maybe 60, 70 yards to the car, but pretty much that's it.
Pretty short, yeah. So we really like this trail. It's actually a lot easier than we thought.
Yeah, I don't know why I've always had this thought that Iron Mountain was this big torturous hike, and it was nowhere near as difficult as Potato Chip Rock.
It's steep, but a lot of them, the trails is very well defined, and there are some rocky sections, but it's not anything challenging. You just have to take your time. So if you're breathing hard going up, just slow down, take a break, and then keep working up. It's not hard at all.
Yeah, the only people that I could see having trouble is maybe if you have knee issues or something like that. The steps might be a little bit difficult, but
just take your time. I mean, my knees hurts all the time too, so just take your time.
But she made it through.
I made it through.
And I would definitely think that the views from the top are worth the effort on this.
The view all the way up is definitely worth it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so if you enjoyed the video, why don't you, what can we do? Want to do
Let's go. Hit the like button.
Hit it. There we go. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because we still have a pretty good amount of craziness coming. And
if you have any favorite trail in San Diego, list it in the comments below and we can go check them out.
Yes, definitely. We're always up for good recommendations. So, alrighty. Take it easy.
Bye.